basically country music. And in country music, there's an artist named Loretta Lynn. And her husband name was Doolittle. And it's funny because my grandmother, for whatever reason, looked at me and said, we're going to call him Doolittle. So my entire life, only people called me Doolittle. And
so let's do some research on who Loretta Lynn's husband was and how he got the name Doolittle. Article by Biography. And it says, why Loretta Lynn stood by her husband despite his cheating and violent behavior. The country singer's marriage was impacted by fights and her husband's extramarital affairs, but nothing could erase her love for the man she married. In 1948, Loretta Webb was a young bride of 15 when she wed 21-year-old Oliver Vanetta Lynn, named Mooney, and Doolittle. Soon after they'd met at a pie social, they went on to have 6 children and stayed together until his death in 1996. The Lynn's complex marriage had its share of turmoil, infidelity, and abuse, but it also provided love and support. Through all the ups and downs, it was the defining relationship of Loretta's life. Loretta claimed that every time Doo smacked me, he got smacked twice. Loretta's husband, whom she called Doo, sent her back to her parents shortly after they tied the knot, despite her being pregnant at the time. According to Loretta, this happened as a result of Doo's interest in philandering. Yet, even after they'd reconciled, and Loretta had warned the other women to keep her distance, the marriage had plenty of problems. One issue was violence. Doo hit Loretta on one occasion after he'd been drinking. He smashed jars of green beans because his dinner was late. But Loretta has also declared, every time Doo smacked me, he got smacked twice. During one fight, she emptied a skillet of creamed corn over her husband's head. Another time, she struck him. I heard teeth hitting the floor and thought, oh, I'm dead. He not only gonna put up with this, but he laughed. Isn't that an interesting biography about their marriage? According to Wikipedia, Doolittle made a living selling moonshine, which earned him the nickname Mooney. He earned the nickname Doolittle, which his wife Loretta shortened to Doo, because he was regarded by locals as a lazy person who didn't do much. At age 20, Lynn met the 15-year-old Loretta Webb at a pie social, and a month later they married. Here's a message that was sent to me yesterday from Mike Signorelli on his post. We see at the very bottom, he signs himself, Mike Doolittle Signorelli. Here's my recommendation to Mike Signorelli. Instead of trying to go back and be Doolittle and be a better Doolittle, why don't you go back and learn how to be a better Michael Signorelli Jr.? Have you ever met someone who just loves to talk about themselves, and then they share a piece of information about themselves, such as a nickname, and you're like, and they give details on where the nickname come from, and you go and research it?
basically country music. And in country music, there's an artist named Loretta Lynn. And her husband name was Doolittle. And it's funny because my grandmother, for whatever reason, looked at me and said, we're going to call him Doolittle. So my entire life, only people called me Doolittle. And